We have 5.5 hours until we are road tripping down the coast with 4 kids. We are hitting up Sydney and then going on to Canberra. So I'm going to take you along the ride of the places that we're going to stop at as we head down south. So if this sounds interesting to you, stay tuned, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell, and I'll see you in 5.5 hours. Listen, it's night time, okay? At 4:51, we have crossed the border into New South Wales. You wouldn't even know that you've crossed the border because there's no big signage, there's no like lighting. The only reason why I know is because a friend recently crossed the border and I remember seeing the sculptural architecture thing. So we are now in New South Wales. We have approximately 2 hours and 42 minutes until we get to our brekkie spot, and none of the kids have slept. So sorry, but unfortunately my camera went into slow motion somewhere along this road trip, so it won't be back to normal until we get to Sydney. But we are somewhere between Coffs Harbour and Port Macquarie. The kids are getting a little bit rowdy because it is coming up to lunchtime. So we're going to get the iPad out, and thankfully we pre-downloaded a whole heap of videos and TV shows that we can use because the internet in this area was quite limited. But we're just going to find a place to put it. This is the first time the kids have got an iPad, and we didn't really think it past the point of just having one. Looking back in the mirror to see the kids and then looking at those tiny little eyes staring back at me was pretty funny at this point of our road trip. But thankfully, the base of this case is pretty solid and we're able to balance it between the chairs, and all 4 kids can see it from here. Michael found these activity books on Amazon maybe a week before we left, and I'm so thankful that he found them because they were fantastic for the boys, because the movie's not going to guarantee their attention for the whole duration. The boys really loved it. We got 2 different ones and they just swapped over, and it kept them occupied even while we were at our accommodation. It's 12:45 and we're at Port Macquarie, and it is beautiful here. We thankfully found some public toilets, a cafe, and even a playground. So the kids are just going to burn off some energy. We're going to have some brunch and then we'll head down to Sydney. So we've just finished our brunch and you should see this view. It is incredible and it's great to be right next to the playground. It's been such a good spot to just get out and relax, have some food, enjoy the sunshine and the beach. And we're currently about 3 or so hours away from Sydney, which has saved us so much time by not stopping into Coffs Harbour. It's been great to just sit and get into holiday mode. We were about 2 hours out from Sydney and the boys just weren't wanting to sleep. Mick and I were pretty sick of hearing what was on the screen, so I brought up my ukulele and we had a bit of a singing session as a family, doing all the different variation for Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And it was really great. I wish that my camera was actually working properly, because this is such a sweet memory for all of us. And you can see the girls at the back were singing and mucking around, Finn's enjoying himself there. It just really was a precious moment for us as a family. As much as I've tried to match this audio, I just haven't. So I'm going to give you the very brief update. We are currently an hour out from Sydney and we have hit our capacity as parents because the boys have not slept all day other than little micro naps. So we are going to stop into a petrol station that hopefully has a cafe attached to it and ask for some warm milk, and we're going to put that into bottles. And then hopefully within this last hour journey, the boys are going to have a sleep and we are going to have a break, because it has just been very overwhelming. But in saying all of this, the kids have done such a good job with the road trip thus far. I think leaving at 3 o'clock this morning was really beneficial in driving the amount that we have. But Michael's going to drive into Sydney. Nah, just kidding. Michael is definitely the highway driver. I am the city driver, but I have enjoyed driving on the highway, especially from Coffs Harbour down to Port Macquarie. But we will be swapping over a little bit closer into Sydney because I will be doing the driving into the city, and it will be my first time going over the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So definitely stay tuned for that. And let's see if we can get the boys to have a sleep. Well, it's safe to say that Sydney drivers are very different. We've had a couple of near misses, the lanes are very narrow, but we are going to see the Sydney Opera House. We're going to actually drive on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. I'm really excited. This is my first time, but the main thing is safety first.
Today, we are exploring the iconic landmarks of Sydney. You don't want to miss out on this vlog. Let's get to exploring.